Madonna, also known as the Queen of Pop, is an icon that everyone knows, regardless of whether or not you like her music. She's been in the game for so long that it's no surprise that a Hollywood veteran would change and adapt her looks throughout the years. Her style has evolved drastically and changes as Madonna moves through different stages in her life. On top of that, she has also been a lot more recently involved in plastic surgery to change her physical looks as well to continue to appear young despite her age. Today we're going to get into how Madonna's looks have changed over the years, both style-wise and surgery-wise. 1970s. Taken from photos in her yearbook, it appears that Madonna went through high school with thinly plucked eyebrows and natural-looking makeup. Her hair is also its natural color, which was a dirty blonde kind of brunette. In 1978, she took some acting headshots where she was again sporting minimal makeup yet with crimped hair. Her eyes have always been Bette Davis-esque, where they are striking and sharp. Then, as Madonna's fame starts to soar, her style begins pivoting from natural and relatively minimal to an edgier, more punky look. In 1979, she chopped her hair off and sported a slick pixie cut. Now living in Manhattan, she rocked heavy lipstick and artfully applied shadows to enunciate her eyes. Once we entered the 1980s, Madonna has become a mega superstar. She introduced the world to the Manhattan club scene. She released her self-titled debut album in this decade and began cultivating an edgy, fun aesthetic. She over-glamorized with poppy colors in her makeup and clothing. She was quintessential 80s. At this point, she also hasn't gotten any plastic surgery done because she's so young. I doubt she would really feel the need to, especially because of how naturally beautiful she is. She became known for her bright red lipstick and smoky eye, which is now considered a classic look in part due to Madonna's consistent use of it. In 1985, she also did the infamous Like a Virgin and would embody that role for quite some time. She became the soiled virgin during this era, a woman in a wedding dress with blood pouring out of her abdomen. Her looks during the 80s are more synonymous with how people view Madonna as a whole during her height. Her look was purely DIY and almost eclectic, with each individual accessory being a loud statement piece on its own. That being said, Madonna did have some cosmetic surgery during this time, but it was done to her teeth. She got a few crowns in her teeth and evened them out to seem more appealing. As we enter more into the 1990s and Madonna exits the youth and natural beauty she had been so accustomed to, we start to see much less of a fashion shift and much more of a physical form shift. She sticks to her bold lipstick and smoky eye and often chooses eclectic outfits over something more traditional. But we also start to notice lip fillers, and her face begins to shift in a way that seems like an attempt to fight the natural progress of age. In the late 90s too, it became apparent that Madonna started on a Botox regime to keep her cheeks full and prevent sagging. Although none of this is confirmed, it's hard not to see. When she smiles, there's very little expression lines as opposed to her younger self, who showcases her smile with lines on the sides of her lips. Her eyes also look more frozen and less expressive. As we enter into the 2000s, we see both a massive style shift and a physical form shift as well. Her style becomes much more classic. She begins wearing dark, sleek outfits and minimal makeup. It almost appears to be an ode to her younger self as she transitions into a more middle-aged woman and away from her youthful exuberance in the 80s fashion and club scene. In 2003 specifically, it also looks like she got her first facelift. This is different from the usual Botox in the sense that it's not really injections. Rather, Madonna would have had surgically, physically gotten her face lifted. The surgery is super painful and hard to do, but now Madonna's entire look has changed, with not a wrinkle on her forehead and wrinkles practically gone everywhere else. The widening of the temple to move back her hairline, coupled with wrinkling at the ears, point to a scar along her hairline. The public is starting to catch on now too, as now there's tons of tabloids about Madonna's face and how she looks so different from how she looked before. We see an eyelid surgery that got rid of the sagging on her eye folds and reduced puffiness under her eyes. Also during this time, we see the first non-subtle facial surgery. Her cheeks are noticeably much more pronounced in a way that only a cheek implant could produce. Her cheek hollows are also very pronounced. Because Madonna has always been extremely lean and muscular, it would make sense that she would attempt to get implants, seeing as those who have much leaner frames tend to age faster because there's less fat behind the skin, so it appears less full. As time goes on though, sadly her face becomes more and more full. It starts to change the features that people see most. Before, Madonna's eyes were the star of the show. Her eyes are stunning. But as the fillers and fat transplants become more common, we start to see that her cheeks and her skin become more and more attention-grabbing. It happens a lot with dermal fillers. If people continue to use dermal fillers, as they get older they just put more on top of the old fillers, and that can lead to a larger looking face. In the 2010s we see a lot more of the same stuff. Although she's aged 10 years, you barely see it as she continues with the dermals and the facelifts. That being said, considering she's in her 50s around this time, I think she looks really good. Obviously, and here's a little rant incoming, we need to take into account that it is a surgically enhanced look, and no person at this age should expect to look like this without modifying their body in some way. I don't really want to take the angle of shaming someone for getting surgery to enhance how they look, because we've all got insecurities, and I can't imagine being in a spotlight where the way you look is such a large aspect of your career and how you're perceived by millions of people. But at the same time, we also want to tell normal people that this look is not possible naturally. It is not genetics. Of course she looks great, but don't hate yourself if you don't look like her. Anyway, sorry about that, but I do feel like being transparent on this angle here is a bit necessary to continue the video as ethically as possible. Now, in 2019, we start to see Madonna's appearance make headlines again. This time for her butt. Getting a Brazilian butt lift, Madonna is now sporting a much more voluptuous back end. Like I said, her natural figure is extremely lean and athletic, so it would be near impossible for her to attain a larger butt that is more popular these days. But Madonna definitely started to sport the stereotypical BBL look that we see on people like Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner. She's got very thin thighs and a perfectly rounded front figure in her thighs with no hip dips in sight. Almost every woman has natural hip dips, so it becomes really obvious when someone has a big butt and no dips, where the muscle in the thigh supports the butt. Madonna definitely went for a more trendy look this time, which honestly I think is closer to her brand. As the decades progress, we see her style become extremely trendy. She embodies each decade that she dominates with music. But as her music production slows, she continues to follow the trends of the decade, with a BBL kind of personifying this. And now in the current decade of the 2020s, we see a lot more fat transfers to her face from other parts of her body. Her face is getting a lot puffier, which I guess is a way to attain a fuller looking face, which is something she battles, as her genetics don't hold fat in a way that it would for other people who gain weight easier. It seems she also updated her cheek implants because her cheeks have become more pronounced than ever, but this time without the accompanying hollowness below her cheeks. With the combination of a fat transplant and cheek implants, her face looks extremely full and almost unnaturally youthful. She starts to look a bit otherworldly because after a certain point, and I mean she's in her 60s now, you can't really fight age and time. Her lips have also become a lot more exaggerated around this time, with a much more noticeable lip filler dominating her face. And now in early April 2022, Madonna posted a TikTok that shocked fans and viewers. The video's weird. It's just her getting close to the camera and then far away from the camera. But it's also weird in the way that her face looks insanely different. In my personal opinion, it looked like she took the video hot off the presses of the surgery table. Her face looks puffy, but in a swollen way, and likely we'll see her look much more normal as the swelling reduces in the future. Her eyes look almost completely closed and swollen, so it looks like she got more Botox on her forehead and cheeks, which would puff up the cheeks and make her eyes look really small. Jennifer Coolidge, one of my favorite actors and comedians, has this look as well due to consistent Botox and cheek implants. A lot of fans are a little sad about Madonna's constantly changing look. One person commented on the TikTok, quote, "I've loved Madonna since I was little. Huge fan, love her, but this is a hard pass. What has she done to herself?" I think it's a hard line to tread as someone gets older. I can't imagine how dissociative one must feel to continue shifting their face to seemingly desperately reverse aging. After some time, and we're starting to see it much more now, it just looks unnatural. She's already heavily photoshops her photos on social media, and I think it all obviously points to a very intense self-esteem issue. I just hope she finds the help she needs and maybe finds the courage to embrace her natural beauty a bit more.
Number 10. Ariana Grande. The singer spoke up about skinny shaming when she saw a tweet comparing herself to Modern Family actress Ariel Winter. One person tweeted about being asked which one he would prefer to date, and he replied that he'd choose Ariel over Ariana because according to him, curves are sexy and sticks are not. Although he probably couldn't have imagined his tweet going viral, Ariana actually responded to him, only to condemn the comparison, Quote, "We live in a day and age where people make it impossible for women, men, anyone to embrace themselves exactly as how they are." She also had a great comeback for him, saying that misogyny, objectifying, labeling, comparing, and body shaming were definitely not sexy in her opinion. Her fans came out in support of her, which was good to see considering that in 2015, many took to Twitter voicing their concern when Ariana pulled up to the 57th annual Grammy Awards looking rather lean. When her own fans commented on her especially petite frame, Ariana said that it was because she had given up junk food. It's a little bit sad that she even had to explain herself. Number 9. Kendall Jenner. In 2013, Kendall opened up to Harper's Bazaar Arabia, revealing that she was currently dealing with skinny shaming. Quote, "I'm constantly criticized for being too skinny." The star told the magazine that while she is trying to gain her weight back, her body won't let it happen. She continued on, saying that what people don't understand is that calling someone too skinny is the same as calling someone too fat. And we can actually see that in a 2018 promo for Revenge Body with Khloe Kardashian. The host revealed that Kendall had actually been battling skinny shaming since she was a child. According to Khloe, Kendall was always very thin and was actually bullied because of her weight. Khloe added that she thinks all forms of body shaming are wrong and that people don't sympathize when people are body shamed for being too thin, which is extremely true considering that people tend to make fun of those who say they are trying to gain weight for their health instead of lose it. So it's clear that despite being the highest paid supermodel of all time, even Jenner is not immune to being body shamed. Number 8. Sarah Jessica Parker. The Sex and the City star's weight has long been a topic of discussion since the series premiered in the 90s. In 2004, she sat down with Oprah and addressed the issue of women idealizing her thinness. Quote, "Actresses have this weight standard for professional reasons, but I think the standard is impossible for women in America." Parker recognizes that her size is not the norm for other women. In fact, she doesn't want women looking to her weight as if it is. She goes on to say that while filming Sex and the City, her job required her to put on a little dress and run around the streets of New York in heels. But she stresses that she also had the financial means to hire a yoga teacher to come to her house while a babysitter looked after her newborn baby. Quote, "For 95% of the world, that's not realistic." Parker also recognizes that there are likely genetics at play. While the actress admitted to People in 2008 that she eats seriously everything, she said that she thinks she just has a predisposition to being slim, which was overall a very honest way of looking at it. Number 7. Ruby Rose. The Australian model and actress Ruby Rose is all too familiar with being skinny shamed throughout her career and just simply existing as a public figure in general. After posting a photo of herself on Instagram in October 2017, you can guess the kind of body shaming she received. Several Instagram users rushed to the comments to call the actress anorexic. The sad thing is that Rose did in fact take notice of all the accusations being tossed around and felt that she needed to share a message with fans in an Instagram story. She wrote that it's so frustrating because she says she just doesn't get upset at the criticism itself, but she hates it because it worries her fans or shames them. Quote, "I hate it because it uses no logic and basically is just someone projecting their experience and expectations on others." The actress explained that she really does eat a healthy, plant-based diet and doesn't drink alcohol or eat processed foods, also adding that she used to be a boxer and she recently trained very hard for her role in several action films. Number 6. Angelina Jolie. Unfortunately, after her mother passed away from ovarian cancer in 2007, Angelina Jolie lost weight. But even under those tragic circumstances, her weight loss was noticed and harshly criticized. The actress was kind of pushed to speak up about her body, telling Grazia, quote, "I have always been lean and this year I lost my mother and I've gone through a lot." The star's weight loss was not intentional, but it was actually because of grief, which is something that she was adamant about clarifying. She goes on to say that she's not trying to look thin, but that she's trying to work through a very difficult year. Angelina further expressed that she found it disturbing that people wouldn't first consider if a person who had lost a lot of weight might be going through something traumatic, which is completely true as no one ever thinks that there might be another underlying reason to somebody being thin. Number 5. Lucy Hale. When the Pretty Little Liars actress shared a photo of herself on Twitter in September of 2017, one man commented on the post saying that no straight men are signing off on that anorexic look. before asking Hale to please eat a hamburger. But as you could probably guess, the celeb was not feeling that horribly offensive message. Quote, "As someone who used to struggle with anorexia, I don't take these comments lightly. I'm healthy, I'm happy, and you don't know me." Then in a separate tweet, Hale really stood up for herself and made it clear that she wasn't just going to accept body shaming, writing that she is disgusted that a man would even think of saying these absolutely awful words to a woman, and that he should be ashamed of himself. Although the problematic Twitter user obviously didn't welcome her opinion, Hale's fans and the Twitter sphere in general at least got the message. Many of her fans not only came to her defense, but they also expressed their gratitude for her decision to stand up to the person criticizing her body. Number 4. Gigi Hadid. The model seemed to cop the worst of both worlds when it comes to body shaming. In February of 2018, Gigi revealed that she was once considered too big for the industry. She clarified on Twitter, writing, quote, "For those of you so determined to come up with why my body has changed over the years, you may not know that when I started modeling at 17, I was not yet diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease." Gigi said that those who felt that she was too heavy to be a model were actually seeing water retention and inflammation, which are all symptoms of her thyroid disease. In addition to being thought of as too fat, Gigi has also been considered too thin. In a separate tweet, the model said that since her health has improved from her teenage years, she's better able to manage her condition, and her outward symptoms have dissipated. Quote, "I may be too skinny for you, but I feel healthier internally." Later, the supermodel urged people to have more empathy for others and to lift up those that you admire rather than be cruel to those that you don't. Very wise words. Number 3. Celine Dion. When photos of the 51-year-old singer from last year's Met Gala surfaced, people noticed that she had in fact lost weight. This got them curious as well as concerned for her. Celine Dion has addressed her weight loss and reassured her fans that she is doing well. She emphasizes that she eats healthy and works out regularly. The iconic singer's response to others' criticism about her weight was all very well done. If you think about it, throughout her whole career, she's had to defend herself from critics saying that she's too skinny. So by now, she would have some pretty epic comebacks up her sleeve. In a 2019 interview with Dan Wootton, Dion said that those who don't like her looks need not be bothered. Quote, "Don't take a picture." The star further revealed that she's just experimenting with different looks because naturally she wants to feel attractive. She added, quote, "I'm doing this for me. I want to feel strong, beautiful, feminine, fierce, and sexy." According to the icon, it's not about being thin or too thin, it's about feeling your best. Number 2. Doja Cat. Doja Cat is sick of trolls at this point who are commenting on her body online, and she's taken to social media to call out people doing it. On June 25th, Doja went on Instagram Live, and she used it as an opportunity to address people who think it's okay to make remarks about her weight. The 26-year-old filmed herself sitting at her laptop while she got Siri to recite a passage that she wrote in response to people saying she's too skinny, and making creepy comments about her body. Via Siri, she says that people constantly bring up the fact that she's skinny because they think that it's their place to speak about it, but she clarified that it's down to her decision to eat more healthy and work out. Quote, "I used to be thick, and that's forever going to be your problem. Your problem, not mine." She goes on to say that while the internet is suffering about how her body looks, she's happy and living her best life. She even called commentators creepy when they say they prefer how she used to look, because it has nothing to do with her own health or happiness. And coming in at number 1, Sarah Hyland. After she was accused of promoting anorexia with her appearance, Modern Family's Sarah Hyland took to Twitter in May of 2017 to finally respond to some of the barrage of body shaming that she's been receiving online. Quote, "I don't normally comment on things like this because it draws attention to those trying to spread negativity, but I'm here to explain a few things and spread love." At the time, the actress wasn't ready to share all of what she's been going through, but she did tell her fans that she's been on bed rest over the course of several months, and as a result, had lost a lot of muscle mass. But it wasn't until late 2018 when Hyland was actually ready to openly talk about her health struggles. The actress told Self magazine that she had received a second kidney transplant and underwent several surgeries, including one for endometriosis and another for an abdominal hernia within the 6 months before the interview. Of course, all of this intensive surgery meant that it was quite drastic on her body, and she ended up losing a bit of weight. It's a little depressing to realize that Hyland's body was being criticized at the very same time she was striving so hard to heal.
Actress Rebel Wilson went through a dramatic transformation in 2020 that has fans wondering how exactly she did it. And in this video I'm going to be breaking down how and why she decided to change her lifestyle and in turn lose over 70 pounds. In 2019, Rebel Wilson was known for playing characters that promoted body positivity, like her Pitch Perfect role of Fat Amy. In the movie, Amy says that she asked the girls to call her fat to her face because she knows they'll just call her fat behind her back anyways. Many felt empowered by the film, especially since Amy seemed so comfortable in her own skin. So fans were shocked to learn that Rebel was partaking in a lifestyle journey she was calling her quote, year of health. Then in 2020, Rebel announced on her Instagram that she intended to go through a huge health and lifestyle change that would most likely result in her losing a lot of weight. She ended up losing over 70 pounds in about a year and announced that she hit her goal weight of 165 pounds in November of 2020. Rebel has revealed that she followed something called the Mayer method to lose the weight. This method is all about a lifestyle change and intuitive eating. One of the principles of the diet is to focus on chewing food and eating slowly in order to achieve her drastic weight loss. Rebel said recently that she wished she'd gotten on the weight loss path sooner, when she was in her 30s. Wilson told in style, quote, "Now that I know I can do it, sometimes I feel sad that I didn't do it earlier. Maybe I should have tried when I was 30, not 40. But everybody's journey is different and it's not a race or competition." To get more into her weight loss method, called the Mayer method, the diet is based on eating healthy vegetables, high protein foods, and being mindful about eating, avoiding added sugars and stress eating. A large part of the diet is actually encouraging positive lifestyle changes, like incorporating simple exercises and sleeping more. The Mayer method dates back to the 1920s when a doctor in Austria invented it. Wilson actually went to a specific clinic in Austria that teaches the method in 2019. After this meeting, she was excited to give the diet a try. Wilson explained her new approach to her fans in a social media video, telling them how this method helps people put themselves in better situations where they feel in control of their decisions and less distracted while they eat, so they don't make poor choices. The method encourages going for walks or hiking as a way of reducing stress, which is a cornerstone principle. The diet also allows for a glass of wine at dinner, which is a nice treat. The point of the diet change is to go from eating inflammatory foods to anti-inflammatory to change the health of the gut, focusing on tons of vegetables and high protein foods to do so. The diet avoids inflammatory foods like processed foods, dairy, caffeine, and gluten. After opening up about her stunning transformation, Rebel revealed that back when she was contemplating the weight loss journey, some of the people on her own team were not too happy when she decided she was going to lose weight. She told the BBC, quote, "I got a lot of pushback from my own team actually, here in Hollywood, when I said, okay, I'm going to do this year of health. I feel like I'm really going to physically transform and change my life." This pushback was because she'd become known for her weight in the industry and she was getting roles as the quote, funny fat girl, as she says. Changing her entire branding at that point could have been the end of her career. However, she didn't let their opinions stop her, because she knew she needed that change in her lifestyle to be as healthy as possible. She also knew she needed to address her unhealthy eating habits. Adding, quote, "I knew deep down inside that some of the emotional eating behaviors I was doing were not healthy, like I didn't need a tub of ice cream every night. That was me kind of numbing emotions using food, which wasn't the healthiest thing." Rebels also revealed her change in diet was in part to increase her chances of getting pregnant. She said on Instagram Live back in July, quote, "It first started when I was looking into fertility stuff, and the doctor was like, well, you'd have a much better chance if you were healthier." Rebel says she was initially offended that he brought that up, but after thinking about it, she knew the doctor was right. She continued in the interview, quote, "So that's kind of where it started, that if I lost some excess weight, that it would give me a better chance for freezing eggs and having the eggs be a better quality. It wasn't even really myself, it was more thinking of the future mini-me, really." Now that Rebel has lost the weight up to 77 pounds at this point, she's now focused on maintaining the weight loss and not putting it back on, like she had done in the past. In an interview with Women's Health, Rebel spoke about the permanent lifestyle changes that she's made, saying, quote, "The biggest lesson that I've learned is how to deal with my emotional eating, learning to process my emotions and deal with my emotions better. That's really what's changed my life for the better." Rebel has also shared with fans some candid posts about her journey and some of her low points that really encouraged the change. In August, she posted a throwback photo at her largest weight. In the caption, she spoke about all the bad things that happened around that time in her life, like losing her father to a heart attack. At that time, she was using food to manage her feelings. The caption read in part, quote, "Okay, so I know I normally post flattering photos of myself, but I found this old photo in my emails and was like, whoa." She wrote in the caption, "I remember this was when I was at my most unhealthiest, being overweight and indulging way too much with junk food, using food to numb my emotions." finishing off the caption that she is so proud of herself and anyone who wants to make this change can do it if they try hard enough. In the Women's Health interview, Rebel spoke about her current daily regimen. In 2020, she was focused on losing the weight, so in 2021, she was only trying to maintain. She said, quote, "There were times last year where I was eating on a very strict diet, and then now it's more about balance." She said she's incorporated snacks back into her diet, and she indulges in the occasional ice cream and chocolate. To her, this approach feels more maintainable. She's also made an effort to make her past favorite unhealthy foods more healthy, like incorporating more vegetables in meals that didn't always include as many. For example, she loves to add shredded carrots and avocados to her tacos. She's also lessened her fitness routine and added in more moderate workouts that are easier to stick to. She said, quote, "I don't have to do such extreme workouts. It's really about enjoying exercise and physical activity, so I'll just go on a light walk. I'm not killing myself at the gym." Just last week, Rebel continued to share pictures of her new figure, posing on a couch for a New Year's Eve photo. She wrote in a stunning Instagram post, quote, "Starting off the new year strong. Happy New Year to you legends, love from down under." She celebrated in her native Australia, sharing moments from the night on her Instagram, like fireworks and drinks with her friends. While talking to People, she also opened up about her current dating life. She confirmed that she's single after a split with her ex-boyfriend, Jacob Bush. And she says she isn't looking to date at the moment. She spoke about her single summer, saying, quote, "I was doing the hot girl summer thing. I heard about it in rap songs and I was like, this sounds fun. But it really wasn't me. I'm more of a conservative girl normally." Although she confirmed she dated some people over the summer and had a nice time, nothing serious came out of it. Following the breakup, Wilson confirmed she hopped on a dating app to see who was out there, but she deleted it after she got way too much attention. I mean, being a celebrity on a dating app is definitely not easy. She also spoke about her weight loss and turning 40, saying, quote, "Last year I for the first time ever prioritized my health. And even though that was my 40th year, I was just like, it's never too late to improve yourself or to improve your health. I shouldn't feel sad or beat up on myself because of that. I should just feel proud of myself for actually doing it." As of now, Rebel looks phenomenal as an inspiration to women everywhere who are looking to make a lifestyle change. After researching a bit about her diet, I'm definitely going to start eating my meals slower and enjoy them. That was one of the principles of the diet. Let me know below if you have any 2022 health and fitness goals below. We can all encourage each other in the comments.
Number 10. Kareena Kapoor. Kareena Kapoor is a very popular Indian actress who has appeared in many Hindi films, winning numerous awards, nominations, writing 3 books, and having her own retail clothing line. In 2016, Kareena gave birth to her first child at the age of 36 and quickly got to work to lose the post-pregnancy weight. In order to achieve this, she followed a rigid diet plan, extensive yoga routine, and even apparently had an orange juice diet. Despite her many awards, accomplishments, and seemingly positive outlook, people online were quick to criticize her change in weight after the pregnancy. Even those who had previously made comments about her being too large or chubby. People flocked to her Instagram to make comments saying things like, "She looks like a skeleton," "malnutrition problem," "What happened with Kareena? She lost her beauty," and many more inappropriate and damaging comments. It seems Kareena can't catch a break, as after gaining weight again due to her second pregnancy, she was called fat by another Pakistani actress, Hira Mani. Number 9. Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson, a famous singer and actress who launched her career on American Idol, was another celebrity who fell under public criticism after losing weight. In just about a year, she managed to lose an incredible 80 pounds. She stated that she was taking on the drastic change in order to set a better example for her son, as she believed the root of her weight issues came from unhealthy and harmful eating habits. In order to lose the weight, Jennifer completely transformed her diet with the help of Weight Watchers, and was excited to share the story of her journey on talk shows like Oprah. Unfortunately, it seems that people watching her transformation did not share her excitement about the change. Fans and viewers believe that because she was a celebrity who has personal chefs, nutritionists, and the organization of Weight Watchers to access easily, that she didn't actually have to work hard to achieve her weight loss. Adele was also dragged in, as she commented on a scenario where Jennifer had recommended Weight Watchers to her, and she said she'd been pretty offended by it. Number 8. Ashley Graham. In 2020, Ashley Graham, who had been a plus-size model, fell under fire for a weight loss change that fans felt was going against her entire message. Most of the hate came under an Instagram post where she first appeared noticeably thinner. Ashley lost weight by pursuing both a healthy diet and consistent
consistent workout routine, including running marathons. As a plus-size model who had preached body positivity, fans were shocked by seeing her appear thinner on social media. They made comments saying that by losing weight, she was going against her message of embracing your size and loving your body. People criticized why she would want to change herself and lose weight when she had spoken about being comfortable being herself and being a plus-size woman. Graham responded to the outpouring of hatred with a touching sentiment saying, "At the end of the day, I'm good enough for me." She has had a long battle with body shaming, both from modeling agencies telling her to be thinner and then fans shaming her for losing weight. It seems like there's no way to win. Number 7. Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian, one of the members of the reality famous Kardashian family, is definitely not the first member of the family to undergo changes to her body, but she definitely was one of those who received harsh criticism for it. After having her child with Tristan Thompson, Khloe was another celeb to take to the gym to start losing the pregnancy weight. Also, potentially in response to the fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, who would refer to Khloe as the fat sister. Khloe states that the gym was her escape, managing to lose an impressive 60 pounds and continuing to stay fit to this day. Unfortunately, a lot of fans were not so impressed by the weight loss, instead choosing to be offended and disappointed about the situation. They said that Khloe's plus-size presence on the show had made her a more relatable and endearing character. Amy Schumer said that Khloe had been a role model for little girls to be themselves, but that after Khloe lost weight, she was no longer suitable as an example. Good Place actress Jamila Jamil also commented on the situation in response to an Instagram post by Khloe where she said, "2 things a girl wants. 1. Lose weight. 2. Eat." Jamil responded by saying that had made her sad and that the industry had fat-shamed her into a prison of self-critique. Number 6. Gabby Sidibe. Gabby Sidibe is another celebrity who has faced body-shaming criticism on both sides of the spectrum. Gabby, who started her acting career in 2009 with the film Precious, was often criticized for her looks and size, despite her numerous awards and nominations and clear talent in acting. Howard Stern even took to calling her enormous, though other actors, including Whoopi Goldberg, were quick to defend her. After being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, she underwent a weight loss surgery, which transformed her stomach into a smaller size. Gabby stated that without the surgery, she never would have lost weight and seemed to be confident with her new body and look. However, a lot of people criticized her method of weight loss, looking down on her choice to receive a surgery in order to transform her body. She responded by saying she's not bothered by these comments, stating that it's her body and people should focus on their own. While controversial to some people, she's not the only big name to undergo weight loss surgery. Number 5. Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is a singer who was most popular in the 90s and has managed to ride that fame to the current day. Most likely, a lot of that can be attributed to her holiday hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You, coming back year after year to top Google searches and blare over grocery store speakers. A few years ago, Mariah appeared looking suddenly a bit skinnier. While there was some argument over how she lost the weight, it was revealed that she had likely undergone a gastric sleeve surgery. Mariah said that she had chosen to lose weight and undergo the surgery because she had never felt comfortable with her body due to body shamers, online commenters, and others critiquing her weight fluctuations. Unfortunately, the choice seemed to just bring more commenters and shamers towards her. People seemed shocked that she would get the surgery without having a major weight or medical problem, and even criticized the doctor that had agreed to perform it. Number 4. Meghan Trainor. Meghan Trainor, the singer of All About That Bass fame, is another celeb to join the list of those who wanted to change and improve their lifestyle when having children. After having her child, she appeared at least 20 pounds lighter than she had previously been. Fans were shocked to say the least when they saw that the change had taken place. Her most famous songs seemed to be about body positivity and loving yourself, no matter what you looked like, and especially if you were plus-sized. So, similar to Ashley Graham, fans saw her weight loss as going against her message of acceptance and being comfortable in your own skin, questioning if she was just another celeb to preach about going against expectations just to succumb to them herself. But Meghan states her reasons for weight loss as wanting to have a better lifestyle, feel better mentally, and apparently even saying, "I just want to live forever, man. I want to stay looking young forever." Me too, Meghan. She was also attacked by online commenters who made fun of her for losing the bass that had made her as famous as she is. While facing criticism, many also believe that she's still a true role model to fans for how to change your lifestyle in a healthy and positive way. Number 3. Mama June. June Shannon, more commonly known to fans and viewers as Mama June, gained her celebrity status from being a main character on the reality series Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, a series which focused on her daughter, young country pageant queen Honey Boo Boo. This show seemed to be a cultural phenomenon when it came out, turning millions of eyes towards the family and as a result, making them a lot of money. A few years ago, Mama June underwent multiple surgeries in order to try and completely transform the look of her body. These included a gastric sleeve and having her breasts altered. She even managed to lose so much weight that she had surgery to remove all the excess skin left on her body. The reason for the changes seemed to have been a result of body image issues. Her daughter's saying that even after the transformation, she still sees herself as fat. Fans were left upset by the drastic change because they believed that she was taking advantage of her fame and money to make far too extreme changes to her body. She also continues to receive criticism from fans for promoting things like weight loss drinks in ads on her social media pages. Number 2. Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson, an Australian actress you likely know best for her performance as Fat Amy in the Pitch Perfect series, or perhaps her nightmarish involvement in the live-action Cats. Whatever you know her from, it's easy to identify her as a character actress, as she was often cast to play the plus-sized comic relief character, never really being known for many serious roles. In 2020, she made the decision to make a change to her body, starting what she called her year of fitness. She spoke about trying to defeat her bad habit of emotional eating. After a year, she stunned the public with just how much her body had changed due to her efforts, and said that she was very proud of maintaining the weight loss and managing her eating issues. But despite her own confidence and pride, a lot of people criticized the change, and Rebel commented on how she had received more media attention over her body than over any of her work-related achievements. Fans were upset that she was apparently sending the message that you need to be skinny to be successful, saying that she had given in to the pressure of the industry. She even received negative comments from her Hollywood team, who told her that it was a bad choice, as it would make her harder to find work after her success of being the funny fat girl in movies and television. Number 1. Adele. Adele Adkins, more famously known by just her first name of Adele, is a very famous singer, constantly topping charts and making headlines for her incredibly popular music. In 2019, Adele first started losing weight, and over time lost around a whopping 100 pounds. She credits the weight loss to her rigid fitness routine, which includes deadlifting, boxing, and circuit training. She also commented on how fitness improved her mental health, saying it improved her anxiety and not having to look at her phone so much. Adele received very similar criticism to Rebel Wilson, as many of her fans viewed her as a role model for plus-size women and how you don't have to be skinny to be successful. They took to social media saying things like, "Skinny Adele feels like a betrayal." They felt that the plus-size community had been responsible for her fame, so when she lost the weight, they saw it as a betrayal of the people and community who had gotten her to where she is. In response, Adele said that she remains body positive no matter what size she is. She says she understands why some women were hurt, but she's still the same person and she did it for herself and not anyone else, which I think is a very important sentiment to keep in mind when considering changing any aspect of yourself.
There are so many celebrities out there who have had plastic surgery. Well, we've done a bunch of lists about them on this channel in the past. You should check them out. They're pretty good. Some celebrity plastic surgeries are subtle and others are pretty well known, like Dolly Parton's for example. She's just as well known for her looks as she is for her music, but how did she get to this point with her appearance? Well, I'm here to give you the rundown on all of that today as we talk about how Dolly Parton drastically changed her looks. Let's start off with who is Dolly Parton. Now before we get into the details about Dolly Parton's plastic surgery journey and how she's altered her appearance over the course of her career, let's first dive into who Dolly really is, her career, and why people love her so much. Dolly Parton has one of the greatest success stories out there. Coming from nothing, she was able to rise to fame and build herself an empire that has brought her so many opportunities and huge career moments. Dolly is completely self-made. A lot of the time, many singers have connections to the music industry, and that's how they're able to find success, but not Dolly. Dolly grew up pretty poor with 11 siblings living in a one-room cabin. She just had a dream of being a singer when she began performing in church with her family. Soon her dream got her to perform on local radio and TV stations, but her talent proved to be something pretty darn special. Though for a while she stuck to having small gigs just to get her voice out there as much as she could, she one day got an invitation to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, where she met Johnny Cash, who believed in her and her talent and encouraged Dolly to keep performing. She stuck to it, and after she graduated from high school, she moved to Nashville and started writing songs for other artists. Though she found a lot of success with her writing, she just couldn't shake the call of the stage and the shining lights. In 1967, she decided to take that leap of faith with her music career and released her first album titled Hello, I'm Dolly. She garnered a pretty big following right away, and the rest is history. She's released so much music since her first album, with her sound ranging from country to country pop, bluegrass, and even gospel. Other than having a booming music career, she also became quite the businesswoman, using her fame as a singer to open her own establishments. One establishment that we all no doubt are familiar with is the Dollywood theme park, but she has so many other businesses that include the Dollywood Splash Country, Dreammore Resort and Spa, Stampede, Pirates Voyage, Smoky Mountain Opera, Hatfield and McCoy Dinner Feud, Comedy Barn, Frizzle, and the Chicken Farmhouse Cafe. Even more impressive is her humanitarian work. Dolly has been known to work with many organizations and charities supporting a number of causes. She's worked on providing free books to children to encourage a love of reading, she's raised and donated money for various relief causes, and she even provided funding for the Moderna COVID vaccine. Other than spending money on helping others though, she's also used her hard-earned wealth to work on herself and alter her appearance, so let's get into that. But before we get into the nitty-gritty about Dolly Parton and her signature looks, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. Now let's get into the plastic surgery journey. Now that we know who Dolly really is, let's get to talking about her appearance and her journey with plastic surgery. Over the years, Dolly Parton has been very open about her plastic surgery. She isn't afraid to reveal the work that she's had done and seems to be pretty open about all questions about her appearance, making her one of the most honest celebrities out there, at least when it comes to her procedures. She's admitted to having had many procedures done over the course of her life. Some of the operations that she's talked about having include breast augmentation, a brow lift, eyelid surgery, rhinoplasty, a chin augmentation, and face augmentation. Her surgeon has admitted though that Dolly has never had a full facelift before, which can explain why she still looks so good even after having had all those surgeries, because let's admit, sometimes when celebrities get facelifts, they can come out looking a little scary or nothing like themselves. Luckily for Dolly, she's retained pretty much all of her natural features, but she's really just aged a bit. According to her surgeon, Dolly started getting work done in her 40s when she first started noticing signs of aging. The surgeon told the publication Closer Weekly, quote, "I think she started when she was in her mid to late 40s. That's the time that the first signs of aging like volume loss start to become evident. She probably uses moisturizers and recovery creams, undergoes microneedling, and non-ablative and ablative lasers." End quote. As to what the surgeon has said about Dolly's appearance despite having had so many procedures done, he told the publication, quote, "I truly believe her looks are the combination of both. I do believe that it is a healthy and harmonious lifestyle with her personal wisdom and depraved of exaggerations that preserved her beauty through the years. I do believe that includes wisdom of choosing the right, skillful, and honest plastic surgeon for her face." End quote. Dolly has said that she isn't afraid to go under the knife to achieve her desired look, but with that mindset, that must also cost her a pretty penny, so let's get into that part of her cosmetic transformation. Now let's get into the cost. With all of the work that Dolly has done over the course of her career, you would imagine that it would have cost her quite a lot of money to have all that work done. Well, it is a surprising cost, so let's talk about it. Dolly isn't at all shy about talking about money, at least when it comes to what she's donated to the various organizations that she supports, as well as what she's spent on her appearance. I can see why she would be open to discussing that, since she's entirely self-made and is proud of how far she's come and the fact that she can do these things for herself. One of the most expensive procedures that Dolly has paid for has of course been the ones for her breasts. We all know that Dolly is kind of known for her chest, but how she got to this point with them is kind of wild. In an interview with Q magazine, Dolly once revealed that she paid $1 million to have her breasts done. She revealed that she's really happy and proud of the way they looked, and even said, quote, "I've slapped a few people who didn't stare at them. This kind of money, they'd better be looking at them." End quote. In another interview, she's talked about how expensive it is to create the look that she has and to maintain it, saying, quote, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap. If I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging, I'm gonna have it nipped, tucked, or sucked." End quote. But if you thought $1 million was a lot to spend on her looks, then wait until you hear about her plastic surgery splurge as her gift to herself for her 75th birthday. According to sources, Dolly wanted to get a bunch of work done, from the quote, "top of her head to her toes." End quote. The singer was also not sparing any expenses to achieve the outcome that she wanted. Apparently, Dolly had set aside a budget of $2 million for her procedures to make sure that she was getting exactly what she wanted and that it was going to be well done. The source close to Dolly revealed that, quote, "Dolly won't be sparing any expense with the surgery. She'll get the best of the best because, let's face it, she has the money. She set aside a budget of $2 million, which is probably more than she'll need, but it'll be a guarantee that anything she gets done will be taken care of for the rest of her life." End quote. Now let's move on to her feelings about all of her procedures. Now you must be thinking to yourself, well, with all of that work done and the amount of time and money spent on her appearance, how does she feel about it all? Well, let's talk about that. Dolly has always had an over-the-top style, and she's even revealed how she believes that she's created her own unique style through her procedures and other factors like her hair and makeup. She's always been one to stand out, and so Dolly has said that she likes getting work done to maintain that sense of uniqueness. She's 100% Dolly through and through. Apparently, over the course of her career, she's been told to dial back her look a little bit, but that's not how Dolly works, you know? In response to those requests, she's spoken out about that, telling sources, quote, "I not only didn't tone it down, I figured if my work was truly good enough, people would eventually recognize that. It was about me knowing who I was, being happy with me, and feeling comfortable in the way I presented myself. If I was happy, I could make other people happy. That's how I've always looked at it. I look totally artificial, but I'm totally real. As a writer, as a professional, as a human being. A rhinestone shines just as good as a diamond." End quote. She's happy with the way that she looks, and that's what truly matters in the end. And now let's talk about her plans for the future. Now, with Dolly getting older and being in a different part of her life now compared to when she was younger, the question remains, is she still going to keep getting work done? Well, let's get into what Dolly has said about that. We all know that there is no stopping Dolly Parton. She does what she wants when she wants to, and she's a very busy woman. She said that she plans on doing what she's always been doing until she can't go anymore, saying, quote, "I don't think about my life in terms of numbers. First of all, I ain't never gonna be old. I ain't got time to be old. I can't stop long enough to grow old. I bet you I won't look much different when I'm 95 if I live that long because I'm like the Gabor sisters." End quote. I have to say, I love Dolly's energy and way of looking at life so unapologetically. She's definitely a good role model to look up to if you want to follow in her way of working hard, achieving your goals, and being 100% authentic. I think the takeaway from all this is that it doesn't matter what you look like, as long as you're happy with yourself and where you are in life, that's what matters. And sometimes you just have to work hard to achieve that happiness.